Hi everyone, welcome to week 3, our live session. So today we're going to jump into some fun stuff like I mentioned last time. So let's hop right into it and do kind of a recap how things are going. Everyone, I think for the most part, is doing pretty good job of getting into Yellow Dig and participating. One major thing I will note is in regards to plagiarism. Make sure when you post something that you're just not copying and pasting something from another website. If you choose to do so, which I'm okay with, if you do two things: you give me the source for that content and you put direct quotes around any verbiage that is directly copied from another source. Plagiarism is a big deal. So let's all use this as a learning point that, you know, your education is not about learning how to copy and paste, but to take in new information and assimilate it and then share it with others. Also, don't feel like you have to always go out and grab other content. All of you are amazing people with amazing experiences that you can add to value to everyone else's educational experience by sharing those. But if you feel like you want to grab some outside content, feel free to do so. But just as a best practice, make sure that you either put it into your own words or you put quotes around it or do a block quote and give me the source. That goes along with assignments as well. So anytime you do any of that, make sure that you're on top of that. If you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. Um, what I love about this model for Bryan University is it's all about the learning experience. So we often learn, and in my own experience, I often learn lots of things by making mistakes and falling down. So for those of you that have made that mistake, please just go back and correct that, and then I'll give you back the points. So, and that let's move on to Learnits. Learnits, everyone's staying on top of those. Good job there. Assignment 1. So this goes along with a conversation from Yellow Dig. Um, I could see a lot of copying and pasting from job posts, and so I'm speaking generally now. A lot of copying from job posts as well as not answering the specific question. So I think for next week, what we'll do for classes, we'll take time to kind of prep you for the assignment and prep you for assignment 2 as well. So I encourage all of you, if you can, to make it to the live classes so that we can go over content like that, get you prepped for those things you're being graded on, as well as I just want to make one note about live classes. Hey, this class is for you guys, so we can go over any content that you're interested in. And that's what we're going to do right now with the business model canvas, since many of you expressed an interest in entrepreneurship, and that was one of our topics this week. So the business model canvas was something created by Alexander Osterweiler, and it's just a nice framework to help you test your business hypothesis. And you might step back and say, hey, this is not science class, but if you remember back to I just drew a blank. If you remember back to your maybe even elementary school days or high school days when you did experiments, you created a hypothesis, then you went and tested it. And that's a great methodology to use when starting a new business. And the reason why is you don't have to dump a lot of capital into a business to get it going. You can actually start with a little capital and test out the idea. And if the idea doesn't work, you can move on to the next one. So let's take a look at this framework. It has several key components, and smack dab in the middle is the value proposition. So let's use let's use a gym for example, and what the value proposition for that is. So you might think it is, all the different equipment they might have. They might have 10 different types of Stairmasters or 10 different sizes of exercise equipment, but that's not really the value of the company. It's a feature or benefit. So when we really talk about value, you want to go beyond just the product itself and think about what it does for customers. So what a gym can do for somebody is it actually can change their life. It could give them the means to live a healthier lifestyle and add years to your life. So if you think about that, how priceless, how much would you pay for another year added to your life? Pretty priceless, right? So when you start diving into that type of value, or dive into a service and that perspective, it's an easy sell. So moving along here, going to the right, looking at customer relationships and channels. So channels are different ways that we can distribute the product or service. It could be online or in the store or face-to-face. Customer relationships is an important piece because depending on the product or service, you might have little interaction with the customer face-to-face. But that's something to test out. What do the customers want? Do they want more hands-on experience with you, or are they okay having an automated experience? All right, next one we're looking over here, we're looking at customer segments. This is a really big one because sometimes people feel like they need to be everything to everybody, but that's not true. You're not doing service to your customer base or to yourself by thinking you can be everything to everybody. You really want to dive in and find out what's the specific customer you're looking for. So going back to the gym example, if you're looking to train athletes, that's a different segment than those that are wanting to lose weight. So you don't give them the same product or service. So knowing who your customer is will really help you. And it's kind of funny that I mentioned that is when I had my own gym myself, and I was tailored towards the athletic segment, but I did open up to helping someone that wanted to lose weight. And in the end, I did them and myself a disservice because it wasn't something that it was in my wheelhouse or a customer segment that I really wanted to serve. So lesson there. All right, now we're going to hop over to the left side. We're looking at key partners here. So this is an interesting one because you might not think of, this could be lots of different things. It could be your suppliers, or it could be companies with complementary services. So if we go back to, again, the gym example, you might have a partner that does nutrition. So you might do the exercise component or the training component, and you might have somebody that does sorry, my mind's going back, doing the nutrition side. Or you might have even another partner that does athletic performance wear that you could actually have come in and sell clothing to your customers as well. So lots of different fun things there. Key activities. So you could think of this as something that's vital to your business. For the gym, for example, the key component could be sales activities. And something to keep in mind when you use this business model canvas, what you do is you actually write in a hypothesis in each section, and then you go out and test it. And you test that by going and interviewing customers, or even coming up with what's called a MVP, or a minimal viable product. So, oops, sorry there. Back to the gym example, I could actually go do some training in a park and see if my training methods is something that people would like. So that takes me to key resources. Do I actually need to buy equipment? In my own gym, I ended up trying to think how much I spent, maybe $20,000 in equipment or so, or $20,000 I put into the business. And I realized I probably only needed to spend less than 10 in the end to serve my customers. So that blends itself in the cost structure. Uh, it's not, you don't necessarily want to have a lot of fixed costs up front, because as you're just starting out as a business and trying to get customers, that can just kill you having all that overhead. So having variable costs or costs that change with the amount of output that you have is a great way to go. So with the gym example, that could be, instead of renting out a space, I could go into another gym and pay per hour that I use it. And of course, a lot of this hinges on how do we make money, right? You need to be able to explain this simply. So for the gym, do I want to do something monthly or like a monthly subscription, or do I have them pay per time that they come train with me? Lots of different things to test. I would say try to test that before you're actually in business. I know I play with my pricing model a lot, which is a little different than revenue streams, but play with it a little too much. Experience a little too much. But again, this all learning experience. So that's a little brief overview of the business model canvas. You can always go to Strategizer. I posted a link in Yellow Dicks, learn more. I'm thinking about it. I think you want to go look at the key activities. I don't feel like I highlighted that well, or I could be wrong in what I said. So go back and take a look at that. All righty. Okay. So takeaways. If you have any business ideas, take this time to go out and test it, either by doing research online or going and interviewing customers. So next week, we're going over organizational management. Like I said before, we'll probably dive into the assignments, give you a better idea of what we're looking for there so you can be more successful in that. Like always, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, text. Those are great ways to get a hold of me. And until next week, have a great one. Bye.